The economy of Ethiopia explained. Hello Explorers, and welcome back to yet another interesting video presented to you by The Explorer. Today we are going to be looking at the economy of Ethiopia. The economy of Ethiopia is a mixed and transition economy with a large public sector. The government of Ethiopia is in the process of privatizing many of the state-owned businesses and moving toward a market economy. However, the banking, telecommunication, and transportation sectors of the economy are dominated by government-owned companies. Ethiopia has one of the fastest-growing economies in the world and is Africa's second most populous country. Many properties owned by the government during the previous regime have now been privatized. However, certain sectors such as telecommunications, financial, insurance, air and land transportation services, and also retail are considered as strategic sectors and are expected to remain under state control for the foreseeable future. Ethiopia's economic freedom score is 51.7, making its economy the 151st freest in the 2021 index. Its overall score has decreased by 1.9 points, primarily because of declines in property rights and judicial effectiveness. Ethiopia is ranked 35th among 47 countries in the sub-Saharan African region, and its overall score is below the regional and world averages. But before we continue exploring the economy of Ethiopia, if you are new here, welcome! Be sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on the red notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our videos. Agriculture, forestry, and fishing. Ethiopia's most promising resource is its agricultural land. Although soil erosion, overgrazing, and deforestation have seriously damaged the plateaus, nearly half the potentially cultivable land is still available for use. Most of the reserve land is located in parts of the country that have favorable climatic conditions for intensive agriculture. Ethiopia is among the richest countries in Africa in terms of livestock, including cattle. With better management of grazing lands and breeding, livestock has the potential to meet the demands of internal as well as export markets. Agriculture contributes almost half of Ethiopia's gross domestic product. There are three types of agricultural activity. The first and by far the most important is the subsistence smallholder sector, which produces most of the staple grains such as teff, wheat, barley, oats and sorghum, corn and millet, as well as pulses such as chickpeas, peas, beans and lentils. The second type of agriculture is cash cropping, and its products include coffee, oil seeds, beeswax, and sugarcane. And coffee happens to be the single most important export in Ethiopia. Forest products are mainly logs used in construction. The silvicultural properties are mostly used in construction, manufacturing, and as energy sources. Ethiopia's fisheries are entirely freshwater as it has no marine coastline. Although total production has been continuously increasing since 2007, the fishing industry is a very small part of the economy. Resources and power. The role of minerals in Ethiopia's economy is small. Only gold and tantalum are of significance. Gold is mined at Kibber Mengist in the south, platinum at Yubdo in the west, and tantalum in the south-central part of the country. Deposits of gemstones, niobium and soda ash are also mined, and there is potential for the exploitation of other mineral resources, including petroleum and natural gas. Another important resource is the rock salt from the Danakil Plain and quarried building materials such as marble. Compared with its potential, this sector contributes very little to the country's economy. Hydroelectricity is the most important source of power for industries and major cities. It is generated at several stations, including those of the Awash River, the Blue Nile River or its tributaries, the Omo River, the Gilgel-Gibe River, and the Shebele River. However, these stations represent only part of Ethiopia's full potential, and others are planned. Some hydroelectric projects have generated considerable controversy, such as the massive Gilgel-Gibet 3 Dam and power station along the Omo River, which was inaugurated in 2016, and the massive Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam and power stations along the Blue Nile River, construction of which began in 2011. Most energy for domestic use in rural areas is derived primarily from firewood and charcoal. This has strained the remaining wood resources in the country. Ethiopia's long dependence on these sources has contributed to the depletion of its trees and to the erosion of its soil. The government has begun to expand hydroelectric power generation with the intent to increase access to electricity in rural areas. Ethiopia's petroleum needs are met through imports, primarily from Sudan and Djibouti. Manufacturing. Modern manufacturing contributes about 1/10 of Ethiopia's GDP. The products are primarily for domestic consumption, and among the most important are processed foods and beverages, textiles, tobacco, leather, footwear, and chemical products. Cottage industry and small enterprises are more important than industrial manufacturing, in offering non-farm employment and in producing a variety of consumer goods, such as furniture, farming, construction implements, woven fabric, rugs, jewelry, pottery, and baskets. Some of these products reach the tourist market. Trade. Ethiopia's exports are almost entirely agricultural. Coffee is the primary foreign exchange earner. Other exported products include cats, hides and skins, live animals, oil seeds, and gold. Manufacturers, especially machinery, transport equipment, and chemical products, account for the high value of imports. Food products and fuels are also important. Significant trading partners include Saudi Arabia, China, Somalia, and India, with more being spent on imports than earned from exports. Ethiopia's balance of payments has been negative for many years. Finance. The National Bank of Ethiopia is the country's central bank. It issues the national currency, the birr, and is also responsible for regulatory functions. There are many commercial banks, most of which are located in Addis Ababa. The Commercial Bank of Ethiopia is the largest commercial bank, with branches throughout the country. The Development Bank of Ethiopia provides loans for agricultural and livestock development and also investment in manufacturing. Since the end of the 20th century, more financial institutions have begun extending loans for business and real estate development. Services. The services sector, which is primarily based on tourism, contributes to about 2/5 of Ethiopia's GDP. Although tourism was curtailed during the period of Derg rule, Ethiopia once again promotes the tourist potential of such historical wonders as the rock-hewn churches of Lalibela, the antiquities at Aksum, and the Gondar castles. Unfortunately, potential has been limited because of a lack of tourism infrastructure and continuing political instability in the country. The 1998-2000 conflict with Eritrea and lingering tensions have discouraged tourists from visiting places such as Aksum, one of the most attractive destinations in northern Ethiopia. Labor and taxation. Ethiopian law allows all workers, with the exception of civil servants, to form and participate in unions. The Confederation of Ethiopian Trade Unions, an umbrella organization of several autonomous federations, is the largest labor organization. Also prominent is the Ethiopian Teachers Association. Tax revenue typically contributes to more than half the government's budget. Improvements made in the late 90s to methods of tax collection have contributed to increase in tax revenue. Important taxes include import duties, income and profit tax, and sales tax. Transportation and telecommunications. Among the more successful developments in Ethiopia has been the road system. During the brief Italian occupation of 1935 to 1941, highways linking Addis Ababa to the provinces were opened. And after World War II, the Imperial Highway Authority opened new feeder roads to isolated localities. Road construction and maintenance slowed during the periods of conflict in the 1980s and 90s. In 1997, the government embarked on an ambitious long-term road development program, and in the following decades, constructed new roads and made repairs to the country's existing road network. Ethiopia's air transport system has enjoyed a success unparalleled in Africa. There are numerous airports located throughout the country. The internal network of Ethiopian Airlines, a state-owned but independently operated carrier, is well developed, connecting major cities and locations of tourist interest. Its international network provides excellent service to destinations throughout the world. Bole International Airport near Addis Ababa serves Ethiopian Airways and other international airlines, and is also an acknowledged center for pilot training and aircraft maintenance. Telecommunications systems in Ethiopia are rather underdeveloped. Use of landlines and mobile phones is not that widespread. Although mobile phone usage is increasing, internet usage is limited. Media and publishing. Although there has been much growth in the area of media and publishing since the fall of the Derg regime in 1991, there are still some limitations. Formalities for the freedom of press are provided, but the current government has not always respected this right in practice. Media personnel have been harassed and arrested, and many journalists typically practice self-censorship. The government essentially has control over all broadcast media. Radio is the most popular medium of choice, and there are several radio stations that broadcast in Ethiopia. The state-owned Radio Ethiopia offers programming in several Ethiopian languages, as well as in Arabic, French, and English. The state also operates a television station, Ethiopian Television. Development challenges. Ethiopia's main challenges are sustaining its positive economic growth and accelerating poverty reduction, which both require significant progress in job creation, as well as improved governance. The government is devoting a high share of its budget to pro-poor programs and investments. Key challenges are related to the COVID-19 pandemic, which has brought down the economy of the country. The economic impact of COVID-19 includes the increased price of basic foods, rising unemployment, slowdown in growth, and increase in poverty. Also, Ethiopia has been experiencing the worst locust invasion in decades. This has undermined development gains and threatens the food security and livelihoods of millions of Ethiopians. More so, political disruption, which is associated with social unrest, has negatively impacted growth through lower foreign direct investment, tourism, and exports. Another issue is limited competitiveness, which constrains the development of manufacturing, the creation of jobs, and the increase of exports. And finally, the private sector is underdeveloped, which has limited the country's trade competitiveness and resilience to shocks. The government aims to expand the role of the private sector through foreign investment and industrial parks to make Ethiopia's growth momentum more sustainable. There you have it, explorers. That was the economy of Ethiopia explained. Which other country's economy do you want us to talk about? Please drop it in the comment section below. And if you did enjoy watching this video, please subscribe, like, and also share with your friends.